So do you also want to automatically do the SEO audits of all your website within seconds? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to analyze websites using AI agent and get on-page SEO audit. So like you, I also used to manually analyze all the websites, but this is such a time-consuming and a tedious task. So to solve this problem, I have simply created this amazing automation where what is going to happen is that as soon as I add the details of my website in my Google Sheets, automatically we scrap the details from that website using Firecrawl, and then further my AI agent generates the SEO report and we add that report into a Google Doc and back again into our Google Sheets. So to do this, we are simply going to create a connection between Google Sheets, Firecrawl, OpenAI and Google Docs. And to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to come with me towards my screen. Welcome to my screen. So in this video, I'll show you how to use an AI agent to automatically analyze website and generate on-page SEO audit. This automation checks for critical elements like the meta tags, headlines, internal linking, and keyword usage. Then summarizes the insights in a clear and actionable format. It is perfect for marketers, SEO professionals, or business owners looking to boost site performance without spending hours of manual audits. So let's dive in and let AI handle the heavy lifting. So to do this, I have already created my workflow, and first I'm just going to show you the proper working of this automation. So let's say I'm just going to enter the company name and the website URL, and once I'm just going to enter both of these details, automatically the report will be generated, SEO audit will be made, and that report link will be added right over here. So we just have to wait for a few seconds till all of this is going to happen in backend. Alright, so we just have to wait for a few seconds. Till then, I'm just going to show you the website for which we are just going to do the audit. So here you can see that this is the website for which I want to do the SEO audit. And now we are just going to wait for a few seconds till the report link is getting generated. And yes, you can see the report link has got generated. So I'm simply going to open it right from here. And as you can see, all the details like the critical issues, quick wins, opportunities for improvement. Over here, you can see keyword research and analysis, readability and recommendations. All the details have been generated within seconds and in real time. So yes, this is no magic. This is the power of automation, which we are just going to learn in today's video. And if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to watch this tutorial till the end. So to do this, I'm simply going to open a new tab and I'm just going to look for the landing page of Pabbly Connect simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. So I'm simply going to search for pabbly.com/connect, and now we are just going to open the landing page of Pabbly Connect. And after opening this page, over here we are going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on this sign up for free and you're going to get 100 of tasks free every month to explore the application. But over here, I am an existing user, so I'm simply going to click on this button which says sign in. And once I'm just going to click on this sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps, and over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video, we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm simply going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connect account. And once I'm just going to click on this access now, it is going to open my dashboard. And over here, to start with this automation, we simply have to click on this button which says create workflow, and now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here I want to save the workflow in this folder which says automations, and on my dashboard you can see multiple folders which I have already created in which I save my workflows. So if you also want to create a new folder, you can go towards this create new folder button and create your own. I've already created mine, so I'm just going to save my workflow in one of these only, which is automations. And now I'm just going to name my workflow as this: analyze website using AI agent and get on-page SEO audit. And then we are simply going to click on this button which says create. And once I'm just going to click on this create, it is going to open the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger and actions are the two main principles on which our workflow is going to run. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by our trigger, and that's the particular reason that we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of a trigger in a particular workflow. And to get started, I'm simply going to select my trigger application. So for my trigger application, I'm simply going to select it as Google Sheets. So I'm just going to search for Google Sheets and select it. And now for the trigger event, I'm simply going to select it as new or updated spreadsheet row. And now it is giving me a webhook URL. So we are just going to use this same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now I'm just going to open my Google Sheets. And after coming over here towards my Google Sheets, we have to go towards this extensions, add-ons, and then towards this get add-ons. And now I'm just going to add an extension in this spreadsheet, which is Pabbly Connect webhooks. So I'm simply going to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks right over here. So I'm just going to search for it. And as you can see that I have already installed this extension right over here, which is Pabbly Connect webhooks. And if you haven't, you are simply going to get the option of install right over here. From here, you can definitely install this. And after installing this extension, you simply have to refresh your spreadsheet. So it is a really important step to refresh your spreadsheet. Otherwise, you'll not be able to get the option of Pabbly Connect webhooks right over here in your extensions tab. And after getting this option, you simply have to go towards this Pabbly Connect webhooks and then towards this initial setup. And after coming over here towards this initial setup, it is asking me for the webhook URL and the trigger column. So we are simply going to paste the URL which we copied from our workflow. And now for the trigger column, I'm simply going to enter my trigger column, which is B. So the trigger column will be your final data column on which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent towards your webhook URL. So now after entering both of these details, I'm simply going to click on this button which says submit, and now it is saying setup configured successfully. So with this, we have successfully created a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. But now it is saying waiting for a webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webhook response, we have to do a test submission or record. So for that, I'm just going to open my spreadsheet. I'm just going to go towards this extensions, Pabbly Connect webhooks, and over here you can see the button of send on event. So I'm simply going to switch on this button, which is send on event. So it is a really important step to switch on this button, because if you won't switch on this button, the details will be not sent towards your webhook URL. So yes, you can see that I have successfully switched on this button, and now we are ready to do the test submission. So I'm just going to enter the company name and the website URL to do the test submission. And after completing this test submission, I'm just going to open my workflow, and over here you can see that Pabbly has captured the response for this test submission. You can see the company name and the website URL. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our trigger step, and now I'm just going to move on towards my action. So what I want is I want to get on page SEO audit of this website. So what we are just going to do is first we are just going to scrap the details from this website. So to do this, I'm simply going to select my action as Firecrawl. I'm just going to use Firecrawl to scrap the details from the website. So I'm just going to select the action event as add a scrap and click on this connect. Now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Firecrawl account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this button which says select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now it is asking me for the API key. And to get this API key, I'm simply going to open my Firecrawl account, and now from here we have to go towards this left side of the bar which says API key. And as you can see that this is my key, so I'm simply going to copy this key, and then we're just going to paste this key right over here in our workflow. And after pasting this key, I'm simply going to click on this button which says save. And with this, we have successfully connected our Firecrawl account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow, and now it's asking me for the URL. So I'm simply going to enter the URL of my website right over here. Alright, so I'm simply going to enter the URL right over here, which was the website URL. So I'm not going to enter the URL manually or by copy pasting it, but instead I'm just going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping. So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Google Sheets as our trigger application. So we are simply going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only. And as soon as we're going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. So I'm simply going to map this URL and move on further. Now it's asking me to select the formats to include. So over here, I'm just going to select the format as Markdown and links. You can select HTML, raw HTML, screenshots according to your own choice. Now it is asking me to include the tags or remove the tags. So if you wish, you can definitely add these details to right over here. But all of these three details are not the required details. So I'm just going to leave it as blank and move on forward and click on this save and send test request. But before clicking on this save and send test request, I'll just simply switch off this simple response button because I'm just going to capture the response in the advanced format. And now I'm just going to click on this save save and send test request button right over here. And once I'm just going to click on the save and send test request button, automatically the details of this website will be came right over here. So yes, you can see that we have successfully received this data markdown, and over here the details of the whole website have been captured, and also you can see the rest of the details. So yes, now using these details only, I'm just going to do the SEO audit using my AI agent. So for that, I'm just going to add another action step. Now for the action application, I'm simply going to select it as OpenAI, select the action event as ChatGPT, and click on this connect. Now once again it is asking me for the same, so if you haven't connected your OpenAI account, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection. And now once again it is asking me for the token, and to get this token it is saying to follow the help text. It is saying kindly visit your OpenAI API key page to get the API key that you need to enter here. So I'm simply going to go towards my OpenAI API key page to get the API key, and after coming over here towards this page, we simply have to click on this button which says create secret key, enter the key name, select the project, and click on this create secret key button. I've already created mine key, so I'm just going to paste it right over here. And now after entering this token, we are simply going to click on this button which says save, and with this we have successfully connected our OpenAI account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me to select the AI models. I'm simply going to select it as GPT-4. You can select any another of your choice. And now it is asking me to enter the prompt, so I'm simply going to enter my prompt right over here. And after entering this prompt, I'm simply going to map that data markdown right over here. So I'm simply going to open the response of my fire crawl, and I'm just going to map that data markdown right over here. And I'm just going to move on further and click on this save and send test request. And now after clicking on the save and send test request, an SEO audit will be made for this. So we just have to wait for a few seconds till all of this is going to happen, and the report is going to get generated using my AI agent. So we are just going to wait for a few seconds right over here till the report is getting generated. And over here you can see the report has got generated. Over here you can see the critical issues, the quick wins, opportunities of improvement. You can see the content quality assessment, and the rest of the details have been generated. And now I'm just going to create a report for this. For that, I'm just going to use Google Docs. So I'm just going to add another action step. And now for the action application, I'm simply going to select it as Google Docs. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as create a blank document and click on this connect. Now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Google Docs account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this button which says select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now you have to click on this blue button which says sign in with Google. And once I'm just going to click on this blue button, Pabbly is asking me to select my Gmail account, with the help of which I'm just going to connect my Google Docs. So I'm simply going to select my Gmail account, with the help of which I'm just going to connect my Google Docs. And now Pabbly is asking me for some permissions. So I'm simply going to click on this allow and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for, because my data is secure with Pabbly. And with this, we have successfully connected our Google Docs account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me for the document name. So I want the document name to be company's name first, and then I'm just going to enter SEO audit. So I'm just going to simply enter the document name right over here. And after entering this document name, I'm simply going to click on this button which says save and send as request. And with this, we have successfully created a blank document. And now I'm just going to add the report in this blank document. For that, I'm just going to add another action step. Now once again, I'm just going to select it as Google Docs, but this time for the action event, I'm just going to select it as append a paragraph to a document. Click on this connect. I've recently connected my Google Docs, so I'm simply going to click on this button which says select existing connection and then save. And once I'm just going to do this, with this we have successfully connected. And now it is asking me to select the document. So instead of selecting the document, I'm just going to map it. I'm just going to switch on this mapping button, and I'm just going to map this document ID. So I'm simply going to map this document ID so that we can turn this field dynamic. So I'm just going to look for the document ID in the response of my previous step so that I can map it. So I'm just going to look for the document ID and map it right over here. And now this field has turned dynamic, and we can move on further. I'm just going to insert the text right over here, which is the report my AI agent generated, and click on this save and send test request. And after clicking on this save and send test request, with this we have successfully added this text into this document. And now I'm just going to add this document link right over here in my spreadsheet. So to do this, we first have to make this document a shareable one. And to make this document a shareable one, I'm just going to add another action step. And now for the action application, I'm simply going to select it as Google Drive. For the action event, I'm just going to select it as share a file with anyone. And after selecting this, I'm simply going to click on this connect. Now Pabbly is asking me add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Google Drive, you can go towards this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to go towards this add a new connection, sign in with Google. Once again, you have to give Pabbly all the permissions. I'm just going to click on this select existing existing connection and then save. And after connecting my Google Drive account, I'm simply going to map this file ID to. I'm just going to switch on this file ID, which is the mapping button, and now I'm just going to map this document ID. And now we have successfully turned this field dynamic once again, and now I'm just going to click on the save and send test request so that we can make this file a shareable one. So now I'm just going to click on the save and send test request right over here, and once I'm just going to click on the save and send test request, we have received this web view link. This means that we have successfully made this file a shareable one. So now I'm just going to add this web view link into my spreadsheet. For that, I'm just going to add another action step. I'm just going to select the action application as Google Sheets. For the action event, I'm just going to select it as update cell value and click on this connect. Once again, it is asking me for the same, so I've already connected my Google Sheets account. So I'm simply going to click on this select existing connection and then save. Over here, I'm just going to connect my Google Sheets, and now Pabbly is asking me to select my spreadsheet. So I'm simply going to select my spreadsheet, which is SEO Audit reports, and now I'm just going to select the sheet, which is sheet 1, and now it is asking me for the range of the sheet that needs to be updated. So over here you can see the range which needs to be updated is C4, so I'm simply going to enter C4. But right now it is C4, but with every new response it is going to change. It will be C5, 6, 7 and so on. But you must notice that this C is constant, only the row is changing. So I'm simply going to map the row index, but I'm just going to keep this C as static only. And now in this value I'm just going to map the web view link, which is this, and after mapping this, I'm simply going to click on this save and send test request, and now we have received the positive response that we have successfully added this web view link. So I'm just going to open my Google Sheets, and as you can see, the document, which is the report, has been added. Over here you can see the whole SEO audit which my AI agent did has been added right over here, and with this we have successfully completed our workflow. And now what is going to happen is that as soon as I'm just going to add the company name and the website URL, automatically this workflow is going to get triggered. We first are going to scrap that website, and then my AI agent is going to generate a SEO audit for that website. I'm just going to add it in a Google Doc, and then I'm just going to add that Google Doc link into my Google Sheets. So yes, we don't have to come back and again to our workflow to click on save and send test request. All of this is going to happen in backend. Like I showed you in the starting of this video, I only have to add the company name and the website URL, and all of this is going to happen in back, and we don't have to come back and again to our workflow to click on save and send test request. I can just sit back and relax. So yes, now go try this amazing automation for your own business, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect. And while trying, if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. See you in the next video with many more automation tips, everyone. Thank you for watching. So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can connect many more applications. So now if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com, and if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this URL. And now go try this amazing automation for your own business too, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect.